Alright, so welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss Sutra 1.34. Sutra 1.34 marks the beginning, and one can say the continuation, of a series of sutras that involve alternative ways to acquire sthiti of the mind. So alternative ways and processes or methods to acquire stability or steadiness of the mind. Okay? So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so by hitting the lotus icon on the bottom right of the screen. And feel free to visit the academyofIndianPhilosophy.com for more information on tutoring, classes, and Indian philosophy. So let's look at Sutra 1.34, which says, Prachhardana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. Prachhardana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. So I've translated as, or a steady mind is attained through the exhalation and retention of the breath. So let's see what each of these words means. So prachhardana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. Okay. Prachhardana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. So let's look at va first. Va means or. Va, as or, is providing alternatives here. So the mind can attain steadiness by X, Y, or Z. A, B, C, or D, etc. Or a series of alternatives. So this right here, this word, it's one word actually, combined with two individual components being a compound, a samasa. Prachhardana vidharanabhyam. This bhyam ending means the number which is dual and the case which is instrumental. So you have a word that, because it's dual, it's referring to two things, X and Y, and its instrumental sense is referring to by, with, or through something. So putting that together, by, with, or through X and Y, something happens. So by, with, and through prachhardana and vidharana, something happens. Now, prachhardana and vidharana of prana, pranasya, which is genitive case. So X and Y of prana, then something happens. What is prana? Prana in this sutra we are going to take as breath. Prana has many intricate meanings, especially in Yogasūtra. It can mean vital force, life force, vital breath, etc. In this case, we're going to take it as breath. But yes, the breath is linked to life and also the quality of the mind, whether it's peaceful or chaotic. So when there is prachhardana and vidharana of prana, then a steady mind is attained. And remember, the word va, or, is in the beginning of it because you are provided with alternatives. So let's look into each of these two words. So I love the etymology of these two words because it makes a lot of sense and it's very crisp. So we look at pra plus chrud. Chrud. Pra plus chrud. So chrud means to expel, to remove, to push out, to remove, to expel, but also means to vomit, which is very interesting. Clearly, we are not going to take it as this. We're going to take it more as to expel and to remove. So pra being a prefix, which means towards something, or in this case, probably out of something, you're expelling or you're removing something towards or out of something. So pra plus chrud. So then chrud turns into chhardana, which is the process of expelling or removing, right? Which is amazing. And that how it becomes like that is a process. Then the next one, V plus dhru. V plus dhru. And dhru means to sustain, to hold, right? To sustain or to hold. And V can be an intensification, really holding something, really sustaining something. So also dhru comes from, is a root of dharma, right? To hold or to sustain principles and values. So here, on one hand, you are expelling prachrud, and on the other hand, you are sustaining vidhru. So prachardana is, in this case, exhalation, removing, expelling something, and vidharana is sustaining and holding something, which is retention of what? Of pranasya, of the breath. Okay? So let's see what the commentary says. Now, here we have Kaushthyasya vayoho nasika putabhyam prayatna visheshat vamanam prachardhanam. So, Kaushthyasya vayor nasika putabhyam prayatna visheshat vamanam prachardhanam. So, what is prachardhanam? Prachardhanam is vamanam from the root vam, which is also to expel and to remove. Prachardhanam is vamanam, that is prayatna visheshat. Prayatna visheshat. So, prayatna means effort, visheshat means special. So, it is the expelling through or from a special effort. So this is where we can use the word technique or a form. Because you're not just expelling your breath, you're doing it with a certain technique, which coincides, it comes in alignment with what pranayama is, especially in communities where you're practicing it. So vamanam, prachardhanam is vamanam, prayatna visheshat, from a special effort, nasika putabhyam, remember dual, putabhyam, bhyam, through the puta, which is the two spaces or slits of the nasika, of the nose, the nasal cavity. So referring to your nostrils. So prachardhanam is the vamanam, through special effort. It's the removal or the expelling through special effort through the nostrils, vayoho, of the air or the breath. So, and kaushthyasya, from the abdomen, of the abdomen. So this is beautiful because it's saying that here we have the abdomen and you have air here and you're removing it through special effort through your nostrils, through a person's nostrils, right? And it's happening, it's starting from here, kaushthyasya, and you're expelling it. So it's very nice how it's written, it's very descriptive. And again, through special effort, through the spaces between the nasika, the nose. Next we have vidharanam pranayamaha. Vidharanam pranayamaha. So this term, vidharanam, is being equated with pranayamaha. Right? So pranayamaha, the restraint of the breath, the restraint of this vital breath, is the same thing as vidharanam. So what you're doing is you're inhaling and you're holding it. And you hold it, right? Versus prachardana, where you're exhaling and removing it. Okay? Tabhyam va manasah sthitim sampadayet. Tabhyam, by, with, or through those two, prachardana vidharana bhyam, va manasah sthitim sampadayet. Sthitim, manasah sthitim. The stability of the mind, the steadiness of the mind is attained and is perfected through those two means. So, that's it. That's really what it is here. Now, it's important to understand that especially if you come from a Hindu community, Vedic community, or if you practice yoga, pranayama is all over, right? Anuloma Viloma, Nadi Shodhana, Bhastrika, etc., right? This is very common. Now here, there are 3 lines in the Bhashya, and there's other commentaries that come later on, but Vyasa's commentary, that's it. They're not specifying any technique, any practice right now. They're just saying that by restraining the breath, by exhaling the breath, with certain techniques, the mind can become steady. That's all we need to know for now. We don't need to project anything onto this. We can say there might be a connection, and that all these communities, what they're doing and how they're practicing, it's related to what this text is saying, which is most likely the case. But we just want to go by what it says for now until we edit and we go further into the Yogasūtra and Yoga Shastra. So the point of this sutra here is providing another alternative here for different types of ways that the mind can attain sthiti and steadiness. And it is done in this case through expelling and through retaining the breath. Okay, so in the next sutra, we will look at other ways that we can attain sthiti. Okay, in this case, is very practical. Expelling or exhaling and through restraining, right? The mind attains steadiness is very practical for the yogin, okay? And so we're going to look at other methods in Sutra 1.35 and forward. So thank you.